that deeply disturbed me, and that I was giving. The only thing that came out of that particular interview on Monday was the fact that Mrs. Jones did admit that she told Mrs. Slater in response to the information as she says she received from Mrs. Slater not to report it.
He's got the letter.
Oh, you already sent him a letter, huh?
Then play with her. Just play with her. Sit down and start playing with her.
I have proclaimed as governor Monday, July the 2nd, as Kimberly Fuller Day in Oklahoma, and encourage all of Oklahoma who can participate in a fundraising effort for this young lady to so do. She's a sweet gal and she needs our help.
He was coming around that third corner, and he flipped over. He come over that top fence, upside down. When he did, everybody took off running. The lady that was next to me got hit, got bounced over the other car, took all of her clothes off when she got hit. And then the car bounced over and hit that black Cutlass, and then it flipped over a couple more times, and that was it.
If it works in residential neighborhoods, then why not in industrial areas? A group of businesses are forming the Santa Fe Industrial Association, patterned much like that of any neighborhood association. Today, company representatives toured the Santa Fe industrial area to see where improvements might be made to give this business neighborhood a facelift. The association's goals are to restore and protect their home away from home. To do this, new stricter codes might be necessary.
One of the first things we're going to do is to set up a set of standards that would make everybody aware of the fact that here's a better way to do it. We want people to do it because they want to, not because they have to. And if it requires setting up some local ordinances, we may have to do it, but we hope that won't be necessary.
The 37-year-old Santa Fe Industrial District was starting to show signs of wear and tear. It has the title of becoming the city's first industrial district and now is home for more than 40 companies. In the future, association members will be introducing campaigns to keep the industrial district attractive. Business owners agree a good appearance never hurts. Ed Stewart, News 4.
I'll think about it.
Hey, this interview. That's why David left. I'll bet you $1 that's why David left. I just hope that we can hurry up and get it done, get out to California. And then hurry up and get home in time to start school. Well, you know, in time to catch a little bit of school next year. So I won't have to be on homebound all year long again.
I feel real relieved because justice has prevailed to this extent so far. And basically right now, since this has happened, I'm still working on the process of getting myself back to where I was. I got one more surgery to go through, and when that's over, hopefully I'll recuperate back 100%.
So here's a speech and language. 270,000 young men are Jaycees, and every time the issue comes up at a national convention, they vote no to admitting women. Women can join an affiliated group but can't vote or hold office. Jaycees gain national publicity each year in picking 10 outstanding young men, and they sponsor public events like the Tulsa Christmas Parade. The Supreme Court says because membership is basically unselective, and because the Jaycees involve strangers in some events, the group fits under a Minnesota public accommodation law that forbids discrimination based on sex. Jaycee officials say they are disappointed, but aren't sure they'll have to change the wording of their creed from men to men and women.
It'll take an adjustment period on the part of the Jaycees now that in the state of Minnesota, especially that women can join if they decide to do anything else further in regard to other states. It'll definitely take an adjustment for us.
The males-only policy once led Tulsa attorney Marilyn Adamson to picket the Jaycees.
The Jaycees, on the other hand, made it a point to get out into the community, the business community, and the rest of the community, and make a lot of contacts and get a lot of, we felt, very good experience that young women simply didn't have the opportunity to get and needed really worse than their male counterparts.
Women will not be signing up as Jaycees here in Tulsa, at least not for now, because the court's decision is based on the Minnesota law, and the comparable Oklahoma statute does not ban discrimination based on sex. And as for the other organizations, no one is sure whether this decision will apply to everyone from the Boy Scouts to the Kiwanis. What happens now to the Jaycees will be decided in the courts and at a future Jaycee meeting. Randy Lewin for News 4, Tulsa.
make official presentation of the referendum petition.
It was clear today these Arcadia residents do not want to become Edmond citizens. The group presented the Edmond City Clerk with a petition signed by almost another 1,000 people who are sympathetic to the Arcadians' position. State law allows the city to incorporate an unincorporated area if it surrounds it on 3 sides. The Edmond City Council decided to annex the small town because it wants control of Lake Arcadia. But some of the 300-plus residents have vowed to keep their independence.
There are a group of very conscientious people in Arcadia that feel that their rights are being taken away from them, and they intend to stand up through this petition drive. We've shown that a small group of U.S. citizens can exercise political justice in this country, and we plan to continue to look at all avenues to protect our rights and protect our own control and zoning of our own land.
The town's future now hangs on the validity of the petition signatures and any subsequent election. The signatures will be checked by officials and an election date set for later this year. Kevin Ogle, News 4, Edmond.
The city charter requires that a special election be called if there's a vacancy that exists at any time prior to 6 months before the end of the term of that office. Mr. Frank's office does not expire for several years, so it's necessary to have a special election.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's an honor and honor.
Thank you. He was a very special person, and anything that has anything to do with him is a special thing. They decided to make this award in his name this year, and that in itself is a great honor, and it means that he did leave his mark and that he was special to a lot of people.
Six-month-old Oziel Orozco doesn't know it yet, but today may be the luckiest day of his brief life. Like Houston's bubble boy, Oziel was born without defenses against infections. He has been forced to live in a sterile, germ-free room because a common cold could kill him. Doctors hope to cure the baby's disease with a bone marrow transplant from a healthy donor. Doctors discovered last week that Oziel's 15-year-old sister's bone marrow genetically matched his. Following further testing, a transplant team today pulled some bone marrow from the girl's pelvis and gave it to Oziel.
Within the next 4 weeks, we'll be able to demonstrate that the graft has in fact taken and that he is now or will be capable of mounting his own immune response, and therefore will be able to be back in society in normal flora, exposed to normal bacteria like all children.
If the transplant is successful, Oziel could be going home in 6 weeks. His sister will have given him a gift that will truly keep on giving. Scott Wallace, News 4 at Children's Hospital.
The executive board felt like the officers were honest completely. They made full detailed reports. They covered all the areas that was questioned. We just feel that the terminations were just uncalled for, and they do have the full support of the FOP.
We just don't want to be part of Edmond. We've been on our own for a long time. Edmond didn't want our kids when our schools were closed. They wouldn't take our schools. But now they want us for our tax money because of the lake, and we just don't want to be part of Edmond.
Sure. Sounds like you're running against Tip O'Neill. The boy that I'm running against is Tip O'Neill's boy. As I watched his voting record, whenever Tip wants him, he votes for him. And so I'm really running against the man that's out in the field is Dave McCurdy. But if you look at his voting record, you'll see that he's basically Tip O'Neill's boy.
Our mission to feed the hungry, to clothe the naked, to house the homeless, to teach the illiterate, to provide jobs for the jobless, and to choose the human race over the nuclear race.
The sturdy four-wheeled cart has been maneuvered through these hallways for the last 14 years.
We have babies.
Chocked full of a kaleidoscope of toys, it's made the rounds at Children's Memorial Hospital every Wednesday morning, right on schedule, bringing smiles to sometimes unhappy faces.
The longer they stay, the harder it is to make a decision. Now, the first time they choose right away. You may have noticed that this morning. But if they've been in here, like we have some that's been here a very long time, and they have to see everything on the card, and then they want to see in the storage area.
If you want to pick out a toy, come here. We'll help you. Come here.
Come over here where you can see. Come over here and look up here and see.
Most of these toys are made possible through donations, heavy at Christmas time, but growing slim in mid-July. If you would like to volunteer your services or donate a gift, call 271-4870 for more information. The patients who've been here for a while know that the cart will be back next week, same time, and look forward to it. In its absence, a gift has brightened the moment. Terry Cook, News 4 at Children's Memorial Hospital.
You want to talk to somebody?
A quest with many ideas, but with one driving. This week, the Democratic Party has taken a giant step towards eliminating this discriminatory bill of attainder against the women of America. I say again, Geraldine Ferraro will be a great Vice President of the United States, and I urge this convention to accept her nomination by acclamation.
The battle cry for Oklahoma oilmen these days is stay alive until 85. Most experts agree it will be 1985 before drilling activity really starts to pick up again around the state. Until then, companies will have to take work when and where they can get it.
Last year at this time, only 266 welds were working in Oklahoma. The figure has been up to 312 this year, but still far below what most people were hoping for. The largest decline has been in natural gas production, an industry directly linked to the overall state economy. Energy executives are looking to the last half of 1985 for the natural gas business to pick up, a prediction most companies are banking on.
We go through this winter, we think the excess gas will disappear. And when that happens, gas prices will stabilize or increase, and the operators, which are the oil companies, will then go out and drill more wells, and that'll put us to work, that'll make us some profits, but it won't come till 1985 as far as the profits are concerned.
Another positive factor is the number of seismic crews now out surveying. The major companies hire the crews, and it's an indication they're preparing for an expansion of their drilling programs. But the expected surge of new activity is still over a year away, and it's believed some companies won't be able to take another 12 months of inactivity. Kevin Ogle, News 4.
It's a lot more than what they were talking about just a month ago. We had William Isaac in my office and Graham Northrup of FDIC, and they indicated their intention to distribute about 5%, or about $20 million, and we requested them to see if they couldn't do more. The uninsured depositors will only receive 20% of those deposits that were uninsured. This will bring it up to 35%. No, it's not enough, and it's taken too long, but it's a lot better to get the $65 million than it would be just for $20 million.
The football season is over, but images of last year's 6-12 disappointment still flash through the mind of the Outlaws quarterback. And to add to that is the uncertainty of just where the team will call home next year. The choices? Oklahoma City or Hawaii. Doug Williams wants to keep the team in the Sooner State.
I would hate to go to Honolulu for one. You know, it sounds good, but I always viewed Hawaii as a good place to visit, but not a place to spend 6 months.
Adopting to change is nothing new to number 12. Williams is a widower who has a young daughter to raise, and at age 28, Doug faces that responsibility with strong convictions.
Ashley Monique, she's a year and a half last Saturday, and a character. I hope to be able to stress some of the things that I've been through in life and let her know about her mother, what she went through in life, and hope that she can take it from there and grow up and mature to be able to do things on her own and to want to be what her mother was, or to want to do some things that her daddy did or whatever. I feel like a lot of it rubs off on kids. I think whatever life I lead would help Ashley decide what she wants to do when she grows up.
Williams' friends call him a basic kind of guy who, no matter where you see him, he's still just Doug.
I'm cowboy boot, blue jean wearing football player.
Doug says of the future, after 10 years of playing football and 10 more of coaching, he plans to retire and play golf every morning. Tara Haskins, News 4 in Tulsa.
I was over across the way playing cards with my next door neighbors, and I just come out and the place was on fire. I start knocking on people's doors telling them to get out, the place was on fire. And then we got everybody out.
You know, I was practicing, I saw smoke. Somebody knocked on the door and said, well, better get out because it's fire. So the only thing I think was this here. Everything else was left up there.
We call them snake feed.